allow me to take you all back to a time before time. That's right, it's 2002, 2003-ish, and wee little Eljay is very excited to be on BIONICLE.com with his parents' permission. He sees Monog, mostly the animations, given that those are on the website, and he didn't really understand that Monog is a game to be played, and just thought, oh wow, cool videos. Oh my gosh, Lewa is super freaking cool. Which of course leads us to now, because as you can see here, it's playing because it's my favorite fight from all of BIONICLE, and partially as a result, Lewa is my favorite LEGO set and LEGO character. That being the case, time moved on, and LEGO eventually released BIONICLE Mask of Light, the first LEGO film, and of course the first BIONICLE film. There, little Eljay was super excited to see his favorite Toa finally voiced for the first time. And well, here it is.
Matanui, where did you learn to bear fight like that, little one?
Oh, right here. Just now.
Well, I'd say you're a natural brave fire spitter.
Better finish what I started.
Now, what's that for? You and Ash Bear got no wrong quarrel? Just doing her duty. If this was your home realm, you'd do the same.
We're all familiar with Dale Wilson's rendition of Lewa, and it's certainly a different take. Now, I think Dale Wilson did a good job, being a voice actor. Obviously enough, he's incredibly proficient, and I don't necessarily think it's a bad voice. However, I do think it's a bad voice for Lewa. See, in my mind, Lewa has always been the young, spry, kind of wisecrack and tough guy who really is in over his head. And as such, I never really imagined him as having this kind of older, elder voice with a wee bit of Irish kind of mixed in, wind fly, sand twister. It just sounded much older than I kind of imagined his personality and, as a result, his voice. Later on, in 2016, Lewa would be voiced once again, this time by Jeff Hughes, and this time, a completely new Lewa. This would be in Journey to One on Netflix.
Whoa! There are things out there. A big fella with horns. That's bad.
They are minions of my brother, Makuta.
The golden mask of unity. Did you have the vision?
In my personal opinion, I think this is a lot better. I find it to be far more accurate to how I imagined Lewa would sound, or at least Tomata Lewa. And so I really enjoy that aspect of it. You can say what you will about the writing or the acting itself. I think Jeff Hughes did a serviceable job in the role. However, it still wasn't really what I imagined, and at the end of the day, I realized what I imagined Lewa sounding like was kind of just always me. Now, I understand that sounds incredibly egotistic. I 100% own up to that. It's very self-centered. It's definitely not a humble statement or thought process, by no means. And of course, I'm not trying to say that I can out-voice Jeff Hughes or Dale Wilson, by no means. However, eventually I just kind of felt, well, this is how I would like Lewa to sound. This is how I've always seen or heard Lewa in my mind. Whatever the reason that might be, it doesn't matter now because in 2008, I decided, you know what? I'm really going to give this a shot. I'm going to try and be Lewa in as many community projects as I possibly can because I feel so strongly about how I've always thought he should sound. So that's kind of what I did. I started applying for things and trying to be involved in as many projects that had Lewa in it as possible. And that leads us to today, where I'd like to present to all of you some of my favorites over the last 10 years of being Lewa in a slew of projects. I'm not going to include everything. There are some things I'm leaving out. However, these are the more notable ones, the more keystone Lewa roles I've played, some of which are just my favorites. And I'd like to kind of go over them and just talk about them a little bit, because today is the anniversary, the 10-year anniversary of the first one I was ever in, which of course is as Lewa in BIONICLE The Rebirth Chronicles.
Time for some battling fun, Lewa.
You got it. Ben, didn't I tell you don't know how to manipulate Toa energy in your hands yet? Use your axe.
Fine.
Next up is Lewa in the original BioCraft Chronicles from 2011. This is obviously enough when I'm much, much younger, and actually, before in BIONICLE Rebirth Chronicles, my voice had been deepened by the guy who did the project, which funny enough, kind of just sounds similar to what I sound like now. In this, however, it is awful. Just absolutely terrible. It's unedited, it's poorly acted, and it's this weird wannabe Irish accent. It's bizarre. Here it is. It was never released.
Lewa, mystery king of know-nothingness. That's me! Hello, small-winged creature. I'll lend you a hand.
Next up are a handful of recap review skits. It's just Lewa, and again, not particularly well acted, but here you go.
Not again! Ha! So, you think you're gonna beat me, Onua? Well, that's not happening. Okay, so that happened. Where's my mask?
Next is a fun collaboration that TTV did with the custom BIONICLE wiki when that channel was still properly functioning. We did one collaboration video together that was not animated by TTV but by CBW, and it was this kind of fun. The CBW had these Toa voice actors, and then we had our Toa voice actors, and so I was Lewa in this as well.
Yeah, the group named themselves after those powerful lesson morals.
Wait, so this is a cult?
What? No!
Oh.
Next up is one of my favorite videos that I've gotten to be a part of. This is Lewa versus Lewa versus Lewa. It's all the Lewas. And I thought this was a blast. It was a very fun script, and most of these, I mean, almost everything on this list, sans a few exceptions, have been undirected. And I think this video in particular turned out really well. It was a lot of fun. I think it came together really well, and I quite enjoyed it.
Clean it. Clean it.
One X against two! Good luck with that! Yeah!
Next is a video series by Toa of Air I. It's the Bionicle motion comics, where it's the comic panels that are kind of moving, and they're all voice acted, and they've got music and sound effects. It's a really fun project, again, not really directed. And in addition, I was asked to try and mimic Movie Lewa's voice. I actually spent a long amount of time just listening to loops of the Lewa lines from the movie to try and get an understanding of how this voice worked. And that's where I eventually realized, oh hey, there's a little bit of Irish in there. And so ever since, I've been trying desperately to do a proper Irish accent. I don't think I can, but I try and work it in as much as possible. This voice is not fun for me to do. I'm not a big fan of A, the voice itself, and B, doing it, because the way I do it, it makes it difficult for me, in my opinion, to emote properly. So it's hard for me, to my ears, to sound sad or upset or angry or whatnot, but it gets requested every so often, so here is my best attempt at it.
Let's try this again.
Leave while there's still time. I can feel the power building. Even your strength won't.
This next one is just a short video done by Lena Valtepaz, and I like this one because it's a very fun video. It's just short, fun script. I think the filter is well replicated from Journey to One, so I like to see this kind of visual matchup with the voice. It's kind of neat. I like it.
If you know what I mean.
I can't remember where they were last, so...
Hey, I've got an idea. I'll find my weapons with X-ray vision.
Yo, Kopaka! How's it hanging?
What?
Once again, with the motion comic, this time as Lewa Nuva, but the voice doesn't really change.
With the Borak, defeating these three will be no problem at all.
Think what you like, Gally, but you'll have to be faster than that to stop me.
Did you say faster?
Helpless? Toa Nuva are never helpless. We'll run you into the ground.
No amount of speed can save you from my magnetic force.
My feet magnetized to the ground. I can't move.
This next clip is actually a fun project that I'm a part of that, well, kinda was a part of it. I'm not really sure the status of it, but I've gotten permission to at least show this. It was basically a redub of the BIONICLE 2016 animations, and this got completed. I don't know if it's going to continue, however, here is this. I thought it was fun to do. I think it's kind of neat to see something like this. I am Lewa. Like the trees, I am upright and strong. But unlike trees, I'm sure not sappy. Yeah, I thought that was bad too. The trees and wind are under my command. With my twin axes, no one's gonna stop me. The Lord of Skull Spiders had better watch out. Step aside, baddies. Time for Toa of Lewa to shine. In that same vein, next is Winds of Change, which is a series, a kind of an audiobook series by Lena Valtepaz that she asked me to be a part of. I played Lewa in this. It's a fascinating series, and this clip in specific I think is very fun. This is actually directed. Lena did a really good job being hands-on with the direction, which when it comes to doing voice roles for any project, no matter the voice, no matter the character, directed is always preferable. I much prefer being directed how to do lines as opposed to trying to just do them on my own, because even with the context, I don't know how it's going to sound with the other characters. So there are a few projects I'm in where I say something, and to me, okay, that makes sense. However, when you contextualize it, it sounds poorly acted and out of place because it doesn't line up with the context of the scene and the context of the other characters. So that bothers me. Some projects are like that. This one is not, so I'm actually reasonably content with this.
Lewa practically leaped straight from the bed to Anua's side, scanning through the dish with his eyes.
Not to sound nitpicky, but why is all these things plants?
Anua blinked.
Aren't you a Toa of Jungle?
Well, yeah.
Lewa said haltingly.
But I mean, that's kind of the point. It's like I'm eating my own kind, you know?
And finally, of course, one of my all-time favorites and one of the most fun that I got to be a part of, given that I directed it, is Biocraft Chronicles from 2019. This, of course, is where I play Lewa. This is a really fun scene to do because I'm against Ven as Onua, and it's Biocraft. The premise was, of course, a lot of fun. The fascinating thing about this, though, is that I actually didn't direct myself in this, nor Onua. Var did, and for that reason, I think it came out really, really well.
What bet?
I bet this one chump that I could beat him in a 1v1, and well, he beat me, and forced me to enslave all these players to mine for resources.
Lewa, why?
I'm a man of my word!
And that's everything. Right now, I still think that when it comes to how I envision Lewa sounding, I feel strongly that my voice matches to how I've always seen the character. Obviously enough, I don't think that I'm the one and only. I can only ever be Lewa. Lewa can only ever be sounding like me. I'm not that presumptuous or egotistic. I don't want to make it seem like this thought process or my desire to be in a bunch of Lewa projects is born from a place of egocentric nature. I really don't want to be how that comes across. I know it probably will anyway, but it's just how I've always grown up hearing Lewa in my head. The personality just seems to match with kind of a higher pitch voice, maybe a little nasally. I mean, Lewa had a huge nose in 2001. But regardless, those have been some of my favorites over the last 10 years. Of course, I will be in plenty more, some of which are coming out in 2020, some of which I'm very excited about. So definitely look around. I'm in a slew of different things, and I'm actually always interested in being in different Lewa roles. Again, I prefer being hands-on with direction, or being directed, and it's fun. I'm always looking for opportunities to get better, to get practice, and do what I can to be the best Lewa that I can provide. Not everyone thinks that Lewa should sound like me, and obviously I have no desire to change that. I just think that it's how he sounds to me, and that's always just going to be a viewpoint. But regardless, I appreciate all of you for watching this. Thank you so much. It's been a fascinating decade. It's been interesting looking back at all of these and seeing how far I've come, especially when it comes to how I control my voice. Those early clips, oh my goodness, ouch. But now I feel like I've really made progress. I've really come far as how to act, how to provide inflection, how to do different inflections, different tones, and so on and so forth. So I'm very excited for the future. I'm quite excited for more Lewa roles and more projects to be a part of. So if you have any and I can fit it into the schedule and I think it's going to be a lot of fun, throw them toward me. My email is easy to find on the Eljay Johnsen Show, and of course, I can be contacted on Twitter. Once again, thank you all so very much for watching, and no matter how you think Lewa should sound, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks once again, and thank you to everyone who has allowed me to be a part of their projects over these last 10 years, as everyone's favorite Toa of Air. Or at least, my favorite Toa of Air. Once again, thank you so much, Happy New Year, and farewell.